Morning to you all, and welcome to our August 2023 Affordable Housing Committee, and I will pass it over to Chairman.
Okay, the meeting is now called to order. Roll call, please.
All right, roll call. Chairman Fred Hamilton,
Present.
Dan Wood,
Here.
Denolis Polite, Gwen Chambers,
Present.
Meg James, Doug McGill,
Here.
and Grace Staples.
Here.
We have the agenda before us. May I have a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposers? Ayes have it. Same thing for the June 1st, 2023 minutes. Can I get a motion to accept those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposers? Ayes have it. Old and new business.
All righty, good morning again. I will move us to our new business. How's everyone doing? Missed you last month. Thank you. Get back in focus. So fiscal year 2024 started on July 5th, and the approved neighborhood assistance budget was approved at $290,000. To date, 2 homes have been serviced at a total of $19,190. 6 homes are lined up to begin in the next week, with services varying from roof repairs to broken windows. And that number has gone up. More than 2 homes have been serviced. We just have not paid those out yet, and more than 6 homes are lined up. So we are starting our 2024 fiscal year with a bang. So we are getting things done. Applications are pouring in. They're actually coming into the office to pick them up, helping them fill them out and get them out. So yesterday, kind of skip around a little bit. Yesterday, Richard and I went to 2 homes for visits. So we are moving, like I said, fast. Told Kevin yesterday I'm going to kind of pause a little bit because we don't want to get over our heads before the 3 months even go in. So we are just going to pick up those applications and get estimates. Staff has joined with the Bluffton Township Fire District, and those 2 guys are Terry Sheriff and Stephen Combs. And we did our first smoke detector visit on Wednesday, July 19th. We visited 6 homes and 24 smoke detectors were installed. So of those homes, some had detectors, some had no detectors. So we did pretty good on our first visit. There was one home that we did have to go back to because they had a gas stove and they needed a carbon monoxide detector. So we did that second visit on yesterday. Again, this is Angie. She is our growth management intern, and she's been with me for both of those visits. So yesterday we visited 6 homes, and we put up pretty much the same 24, 25. No, we visited 7 homes, and we did about the same 24, 25. So in total, 13 homes in our town of Bluffton service area now has smoke detectors. And those smoke detectors will last for another 10 years without doing battery replacements or anything like that. So what the fire department does, put them in each room, put them in the hallway and in the kitchen. So I think that's a plus for us. We're trying to do something different, add some services to our portfolio. So, and why I did that, because contractors go out and they look at that, because that's one thing that Richard, our building inspector, checks for if they have a smoke detector. So that goes on our contract when it goes to the contractor. And they have been charging us for smoke detectors. That's included in the bill. So I was like, no, the fire department does them for free. So that will lessen our bill for the new fiscal year. So I thought that was a plus for us to jump onto that. Any questions there on the memo? Or what I gave a mouthful, so I'll slow down and pass it to you guys.
What did we spend last year on the neighborhood assistance budget?
Last year we're still closing out fiscal year 2023. Last year we spent a little over $200,000. Yeah, we spent a little over $200,000. We did not reach the 290 mark where we have this earmark for this year, but I know it was over 2. So I can get that total number and send it to you. But we're still totaling up bills from 2023.
Where did you get the 6 homes? These are 6 that were already on our list.
These are 6 homes that I've already done. You talking about for the smoke detectors?
Yes.
Yeah, those are 6 homes that we have done in the past. I went back, say, as far back as 2019, 2020, just to make sure that they have them, because some of the contractors did not do. I work with 2 or 3 contractors, and not all of them do the smoke detectors. So I just called around, do you think you have, or do you want me to check? And that's where the 13 came in, those that didn't have it, or, just come and check. So yesterday when we went out, we did 2 or 3 placements. One elderly had a fire extinguisher that was totally done, but she had bought a new one, so the fire department updated the fire extinguisher for her. So just different things like that, just keeping them safe,
Great.
just adding something, like I said.
That was outstanding.
Any other questions or comments? Just want to put for the record, Meg James came in at 10:04. Good morning.
Morning.
All right, and then I'll move down to our Excel sheet, kind of give you an idea. And like I said, this does need to be updated, but it'll be updated for you, of course, next month, because we have done a little bit more than the two listed. So as you can see, our breakdown for the year, we changed up some of our line item totals. So you can see where we kind of added some funds and then just kind of stretched the dollars where we saw a lot of action last year for our cleanup and our different things like that. I do want to add for septic pump out, we are praying that we don't have to do as many as we did last year because those are $400 off the top. So we did about 17 or 18 last year, and that was at $400 a piece. So we are just praying that we can pick up that town council can pick up that contract for us, and we move forward with getting those separate homes done in different areas. Any questions with the Excel sheet? No. The next thing on our schedule is under discussion. We don't have any visitors for public comments, is the 1095 May River update. I was texting Heather to see where she would be in, but I do know that Chairman and Councilman Dan Wood did meet with Amanda. I don't know if we have anything too much that we can put out there right now.
Yeah, we'll share. We'll tag team this.
Okay.
Meeting yesterday. There are some progress. There's not the progress that I think that we're going to be all jumping out our seat about, but there are progress. And one thing that I did like about the progress was the design of the structure. It looks very pleasing, and I think it fits in with. It would not come across as an affordable unit. So that's and we're still working on it, but we made that clear that we want it to be something 25 years from now. It still looks like it's a part of Bluffton and a product that we like. There are going to be four different buildings, 4 buildings.
Excuse me, there's 4 units to a building, 3.
It's 12. It's going to be 12 units, so it's 3 buildings. 4 units each. The 3-bedroom is going to be just over 1,500 square feet, and the 2-bedroom will be just under 1,200 square feet. So
It's a pretty nice size.
yeah. Right now, one of the restraints that we are facing is permitting. There's a lot of time that permitting is still something that we have to try to see if there's any ways to change the time, but it looks like we're at least about 9 months out from permitting.
From starting to pull the permit?
Any other?
I just, again, I think they look nice on paper. The chairman and I made sure that they understood, even on the interior, we understand you have to keep the materials within line so you can afford to build them, but also we didn't want people to be stuck with things like cabinet doors pulling off, falling apart because they were just really, really bad quality. So they understand all of that. And anyway, we're still pushing. Let them know how we feel.
We're looking to have another meeting very soon to address some of the concerns, not only with timing but also with funding. Okay. Just waiting on the date.
Any idea when they're going to be ready for occupancy? That's always my question.
That's where that permitting
Like what
issue
their,
comes in.
what their build time was. I think they shared that. Once they do get started,
Yeah, once they do get started, they believe 120 days is a completion date property. And they look at that as for one building, but they're going to build them kind of simultaneously. So let's just say 180 days.
From when?
get the
From 9
From when
months.
they get the
From 9 months,
permitting.
yeah. Once they can get the permit.
So that 9 months plus that 180. We're praying for shorter than 9 months. All right. I don't have anything else. Just wanted you guys to know that we're hitting the ground running for 2024. Applications are coming in. And I do want to say there's been a lot of bigger job applications. There's a lot of foundation issues on some older houses. But as I always say, I don't give the answer no. Let me find a different solution for you, because of course our funds are not going to foot the bill for when it comes to different foundation issues. And when I say foundation issues, it's the older homes here in Bluffton that have pretty, kind of settled, or when you walk in, you kind of feel a slant to the floor. So that would be bigger, like an engineering type thing. So we did about 2 of those visits yesterday that had some engineering issues. But again, my answer is not going to be no. Let me find another agency that can probably pick you up, or let me find an agency that will tag team with our funds. We pick up one thing and they pick up another. So we've had some of those. So I'm working with some different agencies, such as our Save the Shutters or different things like that, that can help us offset the bills. I'm not going to just throw them to the wolves. We're going to find a way we can help them, and then another agency help them. But it's going good, though. We're seeing a lot of new applications being filled out. I did have a couple of repeats last year, but right now we do have some new faces that are hearing about it, and they're smiling when the work is done or when the contractor comes through. So I believe 2024 will be something different for us. I'm trying to pick up some new services that we can do. And if you guys have any idea, please keep it coming. I know Gwen is always in my email sending different things that I need to sit down and read about. Any presenters that you guys want to see, I have been speaking to a church member that works at a bank, so I'm trying to get her here with us so we can have the South State Bank option, and then I'm not sure which bank she's at, but we've been talking to get her here. So any presenters that you guys have for us, if it comes to developers or different things like that, please let me know and I'll reach out to them. Even if we can't get them here personal, we can get them through Zoom, through different arenas of communication.
When you say you're looking to do some new services,
Well, nothing that's costly. Free services like our smoke detectors and things like that. Just kind of changing up the system. I know we have some different trash issues that we spoke about when it comes to cleaning up yards. So different community things that we can kind of do. Nothing big to add to our Excel sheet, but just kind of thinking of sprucing up or picking up some different entities. Nothing in mind right now, but like I said, the foundation, if we can tag team with some different nonprofit agencies that does what we do, such as repairs, the LCOG and different things like that. A lot of LCOG, they don't do mobile homes, so I'm trying to find, because pretty much we get a lot of calls for mobile homes, so if I can find some agencies that does mobile homes, because that's mostly what we do. So just kind of branching out to bigger services, different agencies that do what we do.
A lot of the, and first of all, I commend you. When you were first talking about foundations and work, I'm thinking, oh my Lord, that's a whole nother mission. So,
Exactly.
that can be cost prohibitive. But to find other people in the community, like the Shutters nonprofit or something, maybe that's good. But the one thing too is, and I mentioned this before, and maybe you could kind of look back 2 or 3 years, Victoria. I'm not trying to put work on you. I'm just asking a question. Material costs, labor costs have escalated, and you must have a rough idea. For example, roof repairs, a per foot cost based on the size of a roof.
Okay.
In the last few years, and you would probably be able to see the escalation of that.
Of course.
Because it makes me wonder, at some point, we may have to increase the amount of dollars that we've allowed. I think originally 10,000 plus 5 more from the committee if it so votes.
Yeah. So it's, we started out at 10, which is the roof, and then interior is 5. So we can do 15 without me coming to you. I come to you guys for an additional 5.
Right.
So
That's
that would be 20. We cap at right now. So, but like you said, yes, but the contractors that I've been working with, they're pretty good. They kind of know to stop at 5 so they can go ahead and get at the 15 so they can go ahead and get things done. But it has been an increase in different areas of work. And Kevin sees that, so he'll send me back to the drawing board, hey, we need to kind of cut this down or see if they can work another way. Let's save some of the boards that's there. Let's not pull everything out, kind of shift around and do some recycling of different things and without tearing everything up. Say, for instance, if a home needs a new steps decks going up, let's see what we can save from that. So we've been kind of recycling. Kevin will send me back to the drawing board. This is way too high, or I need to see the breakdown. Like you said, the square footage of exactly what you're doing. Don't just tell me you're replacing the roof. Tell me exactly what we're doing, how much square foot, and what's the warranty on it type thing. So he's been buckling down so we cannot, go over the price tag like we did last year. So we've changed up some things on our end as well, is tying the contractor to more of a dollar amount fee instead of just giving me one flat rate. I need everything on a breakdown.
One thing, maybe we've spoken about this before, and you probably have already looked at it, but on Calhoun Street, when you're crossing over from the corner perk, for example, and you're coming down Calhoun on the left, I think it's the second house there. I don't know who the owner is. That roof looks in really bad shape. It's sagging. No? Okay.
We'll talk off script.
Okay.
Okay, we'll talk off script. But yeah, if you guys see something, let me know off script because I can't just go knocking door to door, So that's where we come in with helping each other and kind of networking, getting applications out. So yeah, let me know what you have and, I'll let you do the footwork, but I definitely not going to go and put an application on the door frame. But that's how we get it, word of mouth, So, yeah.
Whenever you're working with the other organizations, or if you come, I know the lumber yards they're pretty good about, they have just scraps, things that maybe can't be used for framing or something but could be used for stairs, decking, and they would be willing.
Okay.
And I'm sure the Save the Shutters folks know that and have that connection too, but if you come to an instance where you're at that, it would be worth just asking, right? Because
Gotcha.
they could say no.
Any particular?
SB Lumber, Graco, I think
Okay.
they would all be willing,
Okay,
if they have it, to give it.
gotcha.
And then I had a question, so, and I don't really know a lot about it, but would the A-tax change where the 15% could be utilized, where the town could utilize 15% of A-tax money for affordable workforce housing? Is that a possible funding source for the private-public partnership with the Bay River? You know what I'm talking about?
I thought that was going to the Beaufort Housing
So
Trust.
the Beaufort Housing Trust Fund is working on that. I'm a part of that committee as well, and we had a meeting, when did we talk to So Local? Last week. So A-tax is something that came up, and we met again this week, but we are having our advisory board meeting on Monday. So once we talk more about that, I can put an email out for you guys to see if we can pick that up. So that is something that Mayor Soka and Steven, our town manager, had a question on. So we are answering those questions this week before we come back to SoLoco, because we are on SoLoco schedule again for this month. So if you guys tune into SoLoco, you can watch it online. But like I said, we meet on Monday, so I'll have a better insight of what we can do. The Beaufort Jasper Housing Trust Fund can do with those funds.
Okay.
I want to be in that conversation because that can get sticky.
Okay.
The town collects fund for A-tax for town use. The local is regional use.
Right.
So we have to be careful that we don't send our money somewhere else.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and I was thinking
I think
specifically
each
what the
municipality-
town could use it for. Yeah.
I was just saying, I think for So Local, each municipality is doing the same thing. But to your point, yeah, you have to make sure that it's going back to our funds.
Yeah, I did, after the meeting, mention, to your point, I mentioned that to Mayor Williams, that I felt like that discussion needed to be held between all of the jurisdictions, because you'd like to try to make sure that the A-tax, this group over here is not using A-tax over here for this or that, and everybody needs to be somewhat on the same page. Maybe it's a portion of it to the trust fund, maybe it's more to the municipalities, I don't know, but that has to be decided at the municipality level.
So yeah, that is one of our big topics that we will be talking on this month, like I said, at So Local. So we are doing that advisory meeting, and I will bring it up, exactly what are we doing with that and how is it being divvied out.
All right.
And that is all I have.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Contractors, how efficient are they working with you? How easy are they to get in contact with and follow up on your requests?
So right now I have Superior Services, who is a big local contractor, and they have different some contractors under them. I'm working with Alpha Construction, and I'm working with Fields and Company, and all of them have been pretty much 2 or 3 jobs at a time. So it is moving. They all have bigger jobs as well, but 2 or 3 jobs at a time, and they're looking at me right now to give them some more. But like I said, I'm trying to focus on what we have in the pot right now. But they've been pretty good. They've been pretty good. Yeah, they've been pretty good at getting back to me, and I usually do my check-in days on Wednesdays and Fridays with them. So yeah, we've been good with the contractors, knock on wood. It was a struggle beginning of last year, but they've kind of picked up for me, and so I kind of spread it across the board. Yeah.
Good. Any other questions?
Okay.
Any other questions?
No.
Doug?
Oh, thank you.
No, sir.
So short and sweet, like I said, if we want to get back into doing different presenters so we can hear what different agencies and different towns are doing across the area where we are, and pretty much trying to do the same thing we do. So if you guys have anyone in your Rolodex, or if you know someone that would fit into our meetings, please let me know.
Chair, I do have one more question.
I know you did.
So I went and, you guys presented, the trust fund presented to SoLoco. And I took the information that, the little packet you provided, the PowerPoint, and I went home and read it, and obviously an enormous amount of work has gone into it with a lot of thought. So I want to amend that. I personally was, and I'm only a voice of one, I was personally surprised because, when this started, it started with the proposal from the county, the Greenville model, which was $2 million they raised, and they leveraged it up to $40 million. I thought we were going to leverage our money to a higher number before we started looking for projects to take on, because our money, I think we got $3 million from Senator Davis, and I don't remember what number the municipalities funded.
All municipalities had a different number depending on the population.
Well, what I mean is growth.
As a whole.
As a whole.
Gotcha, okay.
So I think the total might be 5 to 7 million, somewhere in there.
Is
But
that
anyway, that money won't go that far. And so I just, in my own mind, obviously incorrectly, thought that this organization was going to leverage the money to a larger number before we started taking on projects. And I think y'all listed 5 potential projects the other day at the meeting.
Yes, so there are 7 came in and 5 are actually ready. And I believe Brad sent that email out to Stephen and Lisa. I don't know if it went to town council. If you guys got it, just kind of see where those projects are and where they're sitting right now. But back to the note of the leverage, that comes from finance, and I'm not that far up on that committee to know, but I will find an answer for you. I'm not sure. I know leverage, we have the different committees, subcommittees that are working on keeping money in that pot, keeping money rolling it into that pot, not just by the different municipalities on a yearly basis, but smaller agencies that wouldn't mind filling that bag for us. So I know we are working with that, such as fundraising, different things like that to keep money in the bag. But as far as where you're going with the 5 projects that's out there, how are we going to leverage them with the $8 million all at one time? That's the question. So let me get that answer, and then I'll come back to you.
Thank
Okay? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to add a little bit to that. We need you to make sure that you don't just get the answer, you give them some directions.
Okay. Yep.
Show them what the concerns may be.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Okay.
I will do. Y'all gave me a lot of homework, but I'm on it. I will be on it, no problem.
Talk with Dan a little bit more about that.
Okay, all right.
I thank everyone, and this meeting is now adjourned.
All right, thank you all.
Still haven't